As we are in chapter 9, that is ray optics. So in the previous part of the video, we have discussed about simple microscope and compound microscope. Now we will be discussing about another important optical device which we call telescope. So let us first define telescope. Telescope is an optical device which is used to view distant objects. So distant objects means the objects which are very far away from us. And this telescope is used to provide angular magnification of the distant objects. And in the previous part of the video, we have already discussed about the compound microscope, where there are two different lenses used, one called the objective and another called the eyepiece. So similarly, in the telescope also, two lenses are used. So one is called objective and another is called eyepiece. But in this case, the objective is of larger focal length and has the larger aperture, whereas the eyepiece is of shorter focal length and has the small aperture. Telescopes are broadly divided into two categories. One is called the reflecting telescope and another is called the refracting telescope. So in the reflecting telescope, mirror is used, while in the refracting telescope, lens is used. Again, this refracting telescope is of two types. One is terrestrial telescope and another is called astronomical telescope. A terrestrial telescope is a telescope which is used to observe terrestrial objects and gives an image that is not inverted. So this terrestrial telescope is used to view an object which is within an earth, and it gives the final image that is not inverted. And the astronomical telescope is a telescope which is used for observing magnified images of distant heavenly bodies like stars, planets, galaxies, etc. The diameter of objective of astronomical telescope is large. So this astronomical telescope will have larger objectives and it is used for viewing an objects which are far away from the earth. So for example, stars, planets, galaxies, etc. Just like in compound microscope, where we have discussed about the two cases. In the first case, we have discussed about when the final image is formed at infinity, that is also known as normal adjustment. And in the second case, we have discussed about when the final image is formed at least distance of distinct vision. So here also in astronomical telescope, first we will draw a ray diagram when the final image is formed at infinity, which is also known as normal adjustment. At first, let us draw a ray diagram when the telescope is adjusted for final image at infinity. So here we consider an objective lens, and then we draw a principal axis passing through its optical center. And the rays which will be coming from the distant objects will be parallel to each other. So this parallel ray will be incident on the objective lens. So here we consider two parallel rays which are coming from the distant objects. These two parallel rays after refraction through this objective lens will meet at a point where the image of an object is formed. So at this point the image is formed, and let us denote the image by A dash B dash, and S dash is the height of the image. Now we have to place an eyepiece in such a way that this image A dash B dash will lie exactly on the focus of the eyepiece. So here we draw an eyepiece having focal length denoted by FE. So due to the presence of this eyepiece, this image A dash B dash will again be magnified by the eyepiece, and the final image will be formed at infinity, as the rays after refraction through the eyepiece will be parallel to each other. So when they produce backward, they meet at infinity. Now let us denote the focal length of the objective lens by f0, and this alpha is the angle subtended by an object, and this beta is the angle subtended by the final image. Now let us write the working. Parallel rays of light from distant objects enters the objective, and a real image is formed at its second focal point. Then the eyepiece magnifies this image, producing a final magnified and inverted image. So this I have already explained you just before. Now from the above ray diagram, let us derive an expression for magnification when the final image is formed at infinity. So here we define magnification in terms of angle alpha and beta, which is the magnifying power m is the ratio of angle beta subtended at the eye by the final image to the angle alpha which the object subtends at the lens or the eye. So in mathematical form we can write m equals to beta by alpha. So let this be equation number 1. And here I have taken a small portion of the ray diagram, mainly focusing on angle alpha, beta and the image a dash b dash. Now in this figure let us first consider the triangle O A dash B dash. So in this triangle alpha is the angle here and perpendicular is A dash B dash and base is O B dash. So that we can write tan alpha equals to A dash B dash by O B dash. And the value for A dash B dash is S dash and O B dash is F naught. And under small angle approximation, tan alpha can be written as alpha, so that we can write alpha is nearly equals to S dash by F naught. So let this be equation number 2. Now again in the triangle given by the name E A dash B dash, beta is the angle here, perpendicular is same A dash B dash and base is E B dash. So that we can write tan beta equals to A dash B dash by E B dash. And after replacing the value of A dash B dash which is S dash and E B dash replaced by FE, and under small angle approximation beta is nearly equals to S dash by FE. So which is our equation number 3. Now we use equation number 2 and 3 in equation number 1. And after simplification we will get m equals to F naught by FE. So which is the expression for magnification when the final image is found at infinity. Now let us discuss about the second case where the final image will be formed at least distance of distinct vision. In this case also, the image formation by the objective lens is same. The only difference here is we have to adjust the eyepiece in such a way that this image A dash B dash will now lie within the focal length of the eyepiece, not exactly on the focus of the eyepiece. So now let us draw an eyepiece having focal length denoted by Fe. So in this case, the focus of the eyepiece will lie somewhere here, and this image A dash B dash will again be magnified by the eyepiece, and the final image will be formed at least distance represented by D from the eyepiece. So here the final image is represented by A double dash B double dash, which is highly magnified, and the focal length of the objective lens is denoted by F naught. This angle alpha is the angle subtended by the object at the objective, and this beta is the angle subtended by the image at eyepiece. Now let us write the working. Parallel rays of light from the distant objects enters the objective and a real image is formed at this second focal point. The eyepiece is adjusted in such a way that the image due to the objective lie within the focal length of the eyepiece. Then the eyepiece magnifies this image, producing a final magnified and inverted image. So this I have already explained you just before. Now from the above ray diagram, let us derive an expression for magnification when the final image is formed at least distance of distinct vision. Also we have defined magnification in terms of angle alpha and beta, which is m equals to beta by alpha. So let this be equation number 1. And here also I have taken a small part of the ray diagram, mainly focusing on the angle alpha, beta and A dash B dash. So in this figure, in the left triangle given by the name O A dash B dash, we can write tan alpha equals to perpendicular is A dash B dash divided by base is O B dash. So A dash B dash here is S dash and O B dash is F naught. And under small angle approximation, this tan alpha will be replaced by alpha. So that we can write alpha is nearly equals to S dash by F naught. So let this be equation number 2. And from the right triangle E A dash B dash, we can write tan beta equals to A dash B dash by E B dash. A dash B dash here is also same S dash, but E B dash is here U E. And under a small angle approximation, tan beta will be replaced by beta, so that we can write beta is nearly equals to S dash by U E. So let this be equation number 3. Now here we use this equation number 2 and 3 in equation number 1, and after simplification we will get m equals to F naught by U E. So let this be equation number 4. Now using Lenz's equation, which is 1 by B minus 1 by U equals to 1 by F, here we have to modify this equation for an eyepiece. So for an eyepiece, the image distance V will be replaced by D, and using the sign convention, V will be minus D. And similarly, the object distance U will be replaced by minus UE, and the focal length F will be replaced by FE. So after replacing in the above equation here, and after simplification we will get 1 by UE equals to 1 by FE plus 1 by D. And from this right hand side, we take FE common, and it can be rewritten as 1 by UE equals to 1 by FE into 1 plus FE by D. So this is our equation number 5. Now using equation number 5 in equation number 4, we will get the final expression for magnification, which is m equals to F naught by Fe into 1 plus Fe by D. Till now we have discussed about the refracting type of telescope, where the lenses are used, and this kind of telescope has some disadvantages, and they are: number 1, it suffers from chromatic aberration. So it means that a rainbow of colors will be formed around the image of an object. And the second disadvantage is it also suffers from spherical aberration, so which means that all the rays of light coming from the object cannot be focused at the same point. The third disadvantage is it is technically difficult to make large glass objective lens with perfect curvature on both sides. So it means that for a telescope, if it has a very big objective lens, then the maximum amount of light from the object will enter the telescope and we will be able to see a very clear image of that object. But technically it is very difficult to make such a very big objective lens because we cannot make perfect curvature on both the sides of such a very big lens. So these are the disadvantages of refracting type telescope. Now at the end, let us discuss about the second type of telescope, which we call a reflecting type of telescope. And in this kind of telescope, mirror is used. Now let us draw a diagram of reflecting type of telescope, which is designed by Cassegrain. This is the structure of reflecting type of telescope, which is designed by Cassegrain. So this telescope consists of a large concave mirror, which is placed here, having a small hole at the center. And this concave mirror, we call it objective mirror. And there is also a small secondary convex mirror, which is placed here. And at the axis of the telescope, an eyepiece is kept, and we will be able to see the image of an object through this eyepiece. Now let us discuss about the working of this reflecting type of telescope. From the distant objects, the parallel ray of light will be first incident on the objective mirror, and the rays will be reflected by this mirror and will be directed towards the secondary mirror. And again this secondary mirror reflects the light towards the eyepiece, and in this way we will be able to see the image of an object. After drawing the diagram, let us write the working of this kind of telescope. The parallel rays coming from the distant object is gathered by the parabolic objective mirror. So these are the parallel rays which are coming from the object, and it is first incident on the objective mirror. The secondary hyperbolic mirror reflects the light such that it is focused into the hole in the primary mirror. And the rays which are reflected from the primary mirror will be again reflected by the secondary mirror, and it will be directed towards the hole which is on the objective mirror. This reflected light from the secondary mirror passes through the eyepiece, which gives us the magnified image of an object. And these rays, which are reflected from the secondary mirror, will form an image, and that image we will be able to see through an eyepiece. So this is about the working of Cassegrain type of telescope. As in reflecting type of telescope, in place of lens, mirror is used. So because of this, it has got some advantages over the refracting type of telescope. So first advantage is reflecting telescope has high resolving power due to large aperture of the mirror. The second advantage is the final image is free from chromatic and spherical aberration. And the third point is it reflects all wavelength of light at the same angle. So these are the advantages of reflecting type of telescope over refracting type of telescope.